Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, February 23rd, 2026. Smokey's in here currently with me. I'm here for my weekly cross-stitch update, and I have a lot to share again, but I think it will be less the next few weeks. So, but for now, there's still a lot. And that's okay. That's fun. Lots of things to look at. I didn't buy anything this week, but I did get a large box of goodies from a friend, a stitchy friend. So I will have to look through that and see if how many gems there are. It's been a busy weekend, so I haven't had a chance to go through it all, but it's exciting. There's like books and kits and fabric and all the things. So thank you. You know who you are. That'll be fun to go through all of that. Oh, Kitty, she's so happy. Travel stitching was pretty basic this week, or similar to normal. I did my temperature alphabets on Sunday, and I got some purples. I did not get the last color, the coldest color, unfortunately. But I got the second coldest 4 times. So here is my temperature alphabets. This is on Bee Stitch Me 25 count Lugana in Frost, 1/1 full cross. All of these were the second coldest color, which was also once in January. And this is my third coldest color, which was once in January. So it did get cold this week, but not, there was a prediction to get down to 50 and it didn't get there. So these were 53 or 54 as the high. We got frost a few days, so it got down into the 30s, but I don't stitch those. I'm stitching the highs, so. Hi. She's on one leg. She's not really on my lap. She's locked down one leg. My small appointment stitch is Asters by Fat Quarter Shop, and I did a little bit on this. I brought it with me to family dinner, which I often do, but I actually got it out this time and worked on it for a little bit while we were chatting after dinner. So this is where this is at. It's Bee Stitch Me Sand Dollar, I think, all of these seed packets, and it's 1/1 full cross. Similar colors to what's called for. So I finished the black up at the top. So all the words and these 2 dots, and then I'm starting in on the border. So, and then once the top of the border comes down, then I'll finish the flower. Just like to work from the top down as much as possible. And there was so much going on in that flower. I'm like, I don't want to spend more time in the flower when I still have so much to do above it. So I did, but now I can get more done. I should get a little bit done on this at maybe family dinner tonight, but I do have, my daughter has a orthodontist appointment later this week, so that'll come out, at least come along with me. My medium-sized travel piece this week is In the Beginning. It's an old Dimensions kit, and I worked in the peacock and the foliage around the peacock a little at this border as well. So it's been fun to get this moving again, and this will be more school pickup stitching again this week, so that'll be nice. This is an 18 count Antique White Ada 2/1 full cross, and I worked here in the peacock. So the wing is all filled in, but needs back stitching. This chunk, I think, is all filled in now and needs back stitching. I did a little bit of this. There's a little bit of this done. So I'm not sure if I want to do any back stitching yet, or if I want to finish the tail and what's around the tail and then back stitch all of the peacock. I don't know. I might get one length of back stitching in because all the little feathers will be outlined and stuff, so that could be fun. So, and then I do also want to get the words done pretty soon. So we'll see. We'll see what I get to this coming week. This will get one more week of medium-sized travel stitching. And we should get our WIPGO calls for March in a couple days, which will help me know, which will tell me which medium-sized pieces I'll be working on for travel stitching in March, because that's what my WIPGO board has on it. So there's 2 more pieces I have not yet worked on here so far, because I have 6 total on my Whipco board, 4 times each, and 4 of them have been called so far. So I still have Antique Shoe Collection and Garden Quilts. I think Garden of Quilts by Lori Holtz. So which I started at the beginning of the year. So it'd be cool if I got those 2 in March, because then it would be, you know, all of them would get a little bit of attention right off the bat, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I also did a little bit on Composition Floral 1 by Jardin Privé, and well, I tried it with my sister. This is also Be Stitch Me, 25 count. I was in the Fabric of the Month Club for a year, and then I canceled because I had quite a bit of 25 count in my stash at this point. I'll probably join a Fabric of the Month Club, possibly with them again at some point in the future, but for now I'm good. And this is where I'm at. Finish the bird in the middle. This is a 25 count What the Hay, and it's 1/1 full cross with some fancy flosses that are similar to what's called for. And I did some letters. So bringing everything down, did a little bit of this trunk because that was the color in the eyeball. I didn't have a lot on my needle, but I finished that out. So next time this week, this branch comes around and then there's a flower over here. So I'll probably do some more branch, and then, because the branches are nice for structure, and then you can fill in around them to know how to place everything. So that's been fun to work on. My mini alphabet sampler for the year of the alphabet. Then I did a little on Festive mandala. This one I usually work on while I'm editing my video now. It's kind of my thing, a good time to do it. But I also took it with me to my cross-stitching meetup. So I got a few hours of it there as well to this week, which was nice. So this is by Thread the Needle Designs. It was a mystery stitch along in December, and I'm still working on it. And here is where this is at now. This is a 32 count raw silver linen, 2/2 full cross. I did 127 stitches while editing my video last week, and then at the meetup I got 386. So that's fun. So now it's at 52.58%. So it is now over the 50% mark, which is also really great. So I think I did some on both sides. I'm filling in typewriter style, where if there's a symbol within this area, I'll pick that up and just stitch out my thread and then go with the next symbol. So I'll keep bouncing back and forth side to side now as I'm moving down, because most of the center chunk is already done. But that is fun. I don't think it's after I'm playing a Great British Baking Show game with some bonus time I don't really have. When that game is done, I'm gonna do some temperature stitching with things that are really close to a finish. And this one might not technically make the cut for things that are closest to a finish, but I might throw it in that mix anyways, just because I want to keep chipping away at it as much as possible. So I'm thinking I'll do that and have like the 4 on the list that are technically have the least amount of stitches in Pattern Keeper, and this one. So I'll have 5 temperature projects once the Great British Baking Show is done. But that's kind of my thinking on that one. And then sports stitching. There were 2 games this week from my college basketball team. So this is Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Donna Gelsinger. This is the large, not the large, but the normal size There is a mini as well, which looks nice, but this is the one I have. I'm doing the background in 2/1 half cross and the foreground 1/1 full cross. So the background will go faster. And we got 70 points on Thursday and 113 points on Saturday for a total of 103 points. So I put in 103 stitches. And this is now at 2.18%. So it's 28 count, light blue Monaco, even weave, something. And I finished that color that was on my needle, and I started in a new color heading this way. I am working my way along the top here too, picking symbols. And since a lot of them are the rays of the sun, you know, the color heads down. So I'll just keep going until my thread runs out, and then I go to the next color. So that's how that's looking now. So I'm excited to keep going. This one I think the season is wrapping up now. I think we have one game this week, and then next week it starts to get into like playoffs and championships and different things. So depending on how far we go will determine how much longer I will work on this before next basketball season. But I'll keep adding to this with all the games that we do have. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I included that one in my daily 30 cross project rotation in April, but I also have it in my alphabetical rotation. So it'll still get more time this year, but its time in the college basketball, like stitching, will be coming to a close pretty soon. But there will be still at least one more game this week, and then we'll see how deep into March we get. Okay. Hi. Hello, kitty. Yeah, you want to be on my lap again? Okay. So my daily 30 bonus projects, well, did I do yeah, I'll do it. My daily 30 projects for this week have been finishing up the Olympics stitching. So I've been doing the Naptime Stitchers prompts. She's over on Instagram, and she has Olympics prompts for my daily 30 prompts, and I've been picking full coverages for the most part to also represent full coverage February. So that's kind of been fun, and that prompt is now over. But what I worked on throughout this past week for that, on Monday, oh, come on. Monday, the prompt was part of a series, so I chose my strawberries by Pain Free Crafts. These are now retired, artwork by Janet Stever, but I got the whole set right before they were retired. And I decided to go ahead and keep working in the border just because it needed work. So I was a good girl. And I gave this a half hour. I got 100 stitches, no, 101. This is strawberries. This 28 count white even weave, white Jobelin perhaps, 1/1 full cross. It's now at 7.63% because there is some really pale border outside of this woven border that I already marked off. But I did some in there. I don't know exactly, just different tans. Hopefully you can see a little bit of a difference. 100 stitches of tan. These I'm planning to bring back for October daily 30 stitching like I did this past year, so that'll be fun. Let's see. Tuesday, I worked on Hidden Harbor. The prompt was something with a house or a building. Making it a little bit difficult. I'm monopolizing my lap, but she's so warm, it's nice. She's purring. Here's Hidden Harbor by Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Andy Russell. This is the color expansion version. I'm up here in these hills, plateaus, bushes, etc. So here is where I got to. I did 85 stitches in the half hour, and it's now at 2.54%. This is a 1/1 full cross on 28 count tea-dyed Monaco, just from the craft store. So I think it was just, you know, in here, some over here too, probably, to finish up strings and such. Oh, I think I've even got a few stitches over here to finish up a color that I had, so pretty fun. Probably not a huge difference, but this one will get its normal rotation later in the year. Oh, there she goes. Wednesday, I worked on Ranunculus, which is, the prompt was your choice to stay on target, and this is one of my gift stitches, so I figured, sure, I want to stay on target, keep plugging away at this one. This is a Cooler Design Studio, designed by Nancy Rossi, and this is a fun one, very colorful. This one is going to be my gift stitch this coming week, so I will get a lot more on it this week, which is nice. So my string is not cooperating. Here we go. This is a 24 count Congress cloth in soft mocha, I think. 2/1 half cross. I did 271 half stitches. It's now at 48.81%. And I might have gone past my half hour on that one. That seems likely with that number. I can usually get close to or just over 200 half stitches if it's block stitching, but 271 seems a little high. So I probably got distracted and just kept going because it was so fun. But that's okay. Not a problem. So this one will come out again this week, which is great. Hi, Kitty. Yeah. Thursday, the prompt was something with letters or numbers, so I pulled out Cat Alphabet, which had attention last week, which was nice. But I got it out again for just a short time. So this is Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Irina Garmashova, and I am here in the Cat Alphabet block. I believe I just picked one of these purples next to the T and worked on that. There was a few symbols remaining still in the outline of the T, but they were like white or really pale type colors. And I knew I only had a half hour. I didn't want to go onesies and twosies, little like white stitches or really pale stitches, because you wouldn't see them. After a half hour work, I'm like, I want to do something that actually looks like I did something. So next time I work on this for like a chunk of time, a bigger chunk, I can work on those little confetti stitches, because there'll be other things that will be obvious. But when it's just a half hour, I wanted to do something more obvious. So I did some purple, one length of purple. So this was 82 full crosses. This is 28 count Ivory Lugana, 1/1, and it's 1.79% now. Super fun. So a little bit more right over here. I like this one. It's fun. It'll take a long time. We'll probably never get done, but it is fun. And I was showing my daughter last week, I think, about it's possible to do just your letter. If you want to do an what do you call it? Like a monogram. Not on something, but you know, just do your letter and represent your, like that my Nora Corbett S right there. Just do one block with your letter, or stop at just the Cat Alphabet block, or pick the letters in your name and do all of them in all back to back as a name. So there's a lot of options, and that's it's like maybe I could do that with my daughter, but I'm like, nah, and just do the letters in her name. But I think I want to keep doing the whole thing. So okay, then the next prompt was something to stay on track to finish. So another one that was like a goal-oriented one. So I did another gift stitch. This was Bear Time Stories, which was my gift stitch from last week, the previous week. So I got to pull it out a little bit more, which is nice, meaning next month when I pull this out, I should probably be able to finish the 310 I've been trying to color complete. This is by Randall Spangler, and it's the mini. So I'm currently color completing, and I'm working on black, which was the next most used color. And I did, in that half hour, where is this? 131 half stitches. And this is 40 count Verdal, 1/1, half cross. It's now at 48.09%. So we're getting there, almost to 50%. And I think I just pulled this down. It was nice and quick and simple to try to get some numbers within that half hour, that background there. And so next time, I think I have 600 something remaining of black. So I should be able to get that done during my gift stitch rotation in March. And then I think I'm gonna go back and chip away at some more colors with fewer stitches remaining and get a few numbers knocked off, because that's always fun too. So I'll go back and forth probably between what I feel like. If I do think on this one, I'm leaning more towards sticking with the extreme cross country, but I'll go back and forth probably on whether I choose a color with fewer stitches remaining versus more stitches remaining. Because sometimes I just feel like powering through one color, and sometimes I'm like, I want to see those numbers tick off and finish. And I've got a lot of the little colors done. I think the ones with the least amount remaining at this point are like in the 200s already. So I've finished all the smaller colors already, which is really nice because those can be fiddly. So the next one I did on Saturday was something with flowers or a floral motif. So I chose Flower Garden since it has flower in the name. This is Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Emile Vernon. And I am cropping the bottom bit here, so my percentage is a little off, but I did 124 half crosses. This is 28 count rose Monaco 2/1 half cross. It's now at 18.28% when you consider that part I cropped off the bottom. And picking symbols, typewritery, so I think there were some in around here in the gray, what was gray and green, and so they might have ended up a little bit all over. But that was nice. This one will come out not too long from now probably, because F is pretty close to the front of the alphabet. I'm still in C's alphabetically, working my way through my whip list. Did I fill out March yet? No, I didn't. So yeah, I don't know when it'll come in quite yet, but then yesterday I did not get to my half hour, my daily 30. I was focused, really wanted to finish my Winter Rose Great British Baking Show stitching, because I want to try to keep up on that and not get behind from week to week. So knowing that the piece I was gonna work on for my very last prompt of Olympic stitching was also the thing that's gonna get daily 30 all of this week, I figured, you know what, it's fine. I'm gonna let it go. Unfortunately, that one was also one of my alphabet pieces this week, and it also didn't get very much time during alphabet stitching, just because life was lifing this week. But that's okay. I will give it another set, 6 days this week of daily 30s, and that's Cat Bookshelf. So I'll show that now, because I guess we can, I do like to do the planning bit for each like chunk of the, oh, where is this? Each chunk of my plans, it's not, of my cross-stitch life. It's nice to show what I worked on and my plans within that whole like theme section. So this is Cat Bookshelf by Heaven and Earth Designs, also by Randall Spangler. I'm just doing this one book, Tale of Two Kitties. And I did a tiny bit this week. Should have gotten a lot more, but you know, life was lifing. So I had This is a 28 count water lily Jobelin, 2/1 half cross. And I did 92 stitches on Thursday and 21 on Friday and 0 on Sunday when it should have had some. So it's now at 93.95% when you consider that I cropped off most of the chart. So this one should get daily 30s for 6 days this week. So hopefully I can make some good progress. Bringing this down, maybe we can start seeing some of those letters come into play. This is the A. I think tail is right there. And then the rest of this is the rest of the words. So I'm excited to see how that will look. I know it's not going to be super crisp, but I think it is somewhat legible, or at least you can kind of guess, like figure out what they're saying. Yeah, so that'll be the daily 30 for this week. In addition, in March, which starts Sunday, which is before I come back to do my next update, I'm going to do Mirabilia March for my daily 30. And I had you guys vote last week. It was a landslide, y'all, for monogamous Mirabilia March on Stargazer. So I had a good amount of people wanting a wheel of some kind, and some people suggested maybe half and half. What I'm going to do is I'll start out monogamous, and then when there's 12 days left in March, I will reevaluate and see if I'm like totally bored. I will do a blackout wheel for the rest of the month with the rest of my Mirabilias. But if I'm enjoying it and I can see, you know, some light at the end of the tunnel, perhaps, I will keep going for the rest of the month. So we'll have to wait and see until March 20th, which is actually the first day of spring, which is kind of fun. If I want to continue with it for the entire month of monogamous daily 30, but I'll start out that way. So this is the one, Mirabilia by it's Stargazer. And I did a color conversion for mine because I wanted it on dark blue fabric because it's a night sky. And then some of these colors I figured weren't going to show up. Dark hair and like a black coat aren't going to show up on really dark fabric. So I switched her hair to be light brown, closer to mine, plus some of the colors were more my colors. So she has a burgundy jacket now and like all this stuff. So this is where we're starting. And this is a 32 count. It was white MCG Textiles linen, and I double dyed it with denim RIT, the only thing I've ever dyed. And she is now completed to like here. So all the sky beads are done. And the beads in her jacket have been started. So there's a lot of dress. There were some of you that were very optimistic that I would finish this by being monogamous on it. But since it is a daily 30 piece, it's not going to get like a million hours. There's a lot of dress left. So I will do my best. I'll chip away at it daily 30 throughout March, and we'll see. We'll see how close I get. Maybe it can end up close enough to be included in some of my Focus for a Finish lists and games, because it'll be that close, you know. So we'll see. I don't think I'll be able to get it finished. I think there's just a lot of skirt left, but we will make a good dent on it, shall we? Okay, so back to what I worked on this week. My main projects, my gift stitch for this week was Lollipop. And I actually did a good amount on this one, which was nice. This is by Tilton Crafts, artwork by Denise Garbus. And I think I finished the 10x10 at the whole 10x10 row, which is really nice, which finished a lot of this corner. Then I got to go ching over with the typewriter and start picking symbols over here again, which is fun because then you get to work on something new. So this one got a total over 3 days, 1,030 stitches. These are half stitches. This is 40 count Verdal 1/1 half stitch. And it's now at 16.10%. So super pretty. I love the colors. So this corner now is a lot finished. There's still a little bit scattered stitches down here, but there's a lot of that filled in now. Then I came over here and did some more in these clouds and the dark bits. So super fun. I like that one. So that'll come back out for another 3-day rotation in March. And then this week's gift stitching will be ranunculus, so that'll be nice. Then my alphabetical pieces that I worked on, as I'm working my way alphabetically through all of my projects, was Cat Bookshelf, which I already showed, and I had got very little done on it. Not that much more, over 100 stitches, over 2 days of main stitching. What tends to happen sometimes is I have like my bonus pieces that I sprinkle in there, but then I have so much going on in my other life that's not stitching related that once I'm done with those bonus pieces, I end up running out of time, and then I don't have any time to work on my main piece. That happens occasionally. So, and that also happened on Sunday, especially because I forgot, oh, I still need to do my basketball stitching, and then I wanted to try to finish the Great British Baking Show stitching. So I didn't end up with any time on my alphabetical piece on Sunday. I very little time, and I did a good amount on Saturday, so it did have some work. My second alphabetical piece for this week was Celtic Ladies. I didn't get as much done as I would have liked, but I did some. I finished her face and neck, and I started in on the W, so you can at least see, yes, there should be a letter there. And a little bit actually in her sleeve, because that's the color I had on my needle. It was a blend, so I went ahead and finished it off over here. Yeah, this one, the dress colors are as called for, but I did do face and hair conversions for winter and summer, just so they're a little more variety. And I do also, it's been a while, and I probably have some new subscribers since I've worked on this a lot, so I thought I'd share again. I put this together, this collage, and I can't give you my whole pattern because these aren't my designs, but if you have the patterns yourself, I can give you an outline that I put together that it has like a backstitch line around each of the elements, so you can like know where to place them, and then use those outlines to know, like compare that to your actual pattern to know what to stitch where. So if you want my outline, I've already emailed it to lots of you who want to do it, but I can email you the outline, the placement outline, if you want to do it this way. So here is this one. Oh, my email is stitchinmommy7@gmail.com. So you can ask me for that. That'd be fine. This is 32 count lamb's wool linen, 2/2 full cross. So I did a tiny bit in her sleeve just to finish out the blend that was on my needle. And then I came over here and worked on her face, got her face done, which is so good. I love having their faces done. And in her hair, I was thinking, oh, should I do some greens? Because some of these ladies have greens done, and there's metallics and beads as well that I'm waiting on. But her non-metallic and bead was white blended with whisper. I'm like, maybe I'll wait. Wanted something more simple. So I started in on the W and didn't get that done. I was hoping to get that W, the main cross stitching done on it, but I ran out of time. So my efforts were elsewhere, I guess. But that's progress. So I'm excited to have more on that one. And eventually this one might be more of a focus as well, because it is really fun. It'd be nice to get it farther along. Okay, so my alphabetical pieces for this week will be Chaplain's Garden. This is an old Janlin kit. It's a Marty Bell design. And I think I have seen some PDFs of this on Etsy, perhaps. But I reached out to the seller and they are not Pattern Keeper compatible, so it wouldn't benefit me any more than just a digital working copy of this. So I am taking the time to rechart this in my pattern software so that I can use it in Pattern Keeper, because this is a hard one to follow. This is one of my oldest projects. It's dated 1999, so it is likely, I got it in either late high school, early college. I know my mom gifted it to me because it had lots of colors, and boy does it. It is slow going recharting it because it's very confetti heavy. I'm doing one little line of 10 symbols at a time. Sometimes there's like 5 to 10 different symbols in that 10 square section. So I got like the top half done, and I have like from here over done. So this whole chunk is yet to be charted. So worst case, I will, you know, finalize what I have and put that in Pattern Keeper just so I can work on it this week and then finish it later. But I would love to be able to get it done before I work on it. I think this grass will go a little faster because there's fewer colors here. I might also flip it with the other alphabetical piece if there's a chance I could get it finished charting before Saturday, and then I can work on this Saturday, Sunday instead of Thursday, Friday. So right now it's slotted for Thursday, Friday, but it may switch if I can get it finished charting it throughout the week. So we will see. This is a Kit Ada 14 count light blue. And here is my starting point. I've got a little bit of everything. Looks like I started in the middle, you know, however many years ago this was, and worked on a lot of the house, but then got bogged down with all the different color changes since there's no more structure really once you get out of the house. So I have come up and done some of these clouds, and over here some of the trees, and I did this way back when too because it was all one color. I could see that where it was headed, the path of that. So it's 2 over 1 on 14 count for everything. And then there's a variety of a few backstitch and stem stitch elements. So we'll see. Hopefully I can get this finished charting it and then be able to work on that in Pattern Keeper this time. That will be really exciting. So the next whip alphabetically, which I may work on first, depending on how my charting is going on the other one, is Cherry Kitten by Artisy. This one's so cute. And this is a no background version. They also have a version at Artisy with like clouds in the background. This is artwork by Kayomi Hirai. And I was gifted this fabric, which is Pull Stitch's Cosmos, a Dragon Shades, which looks like clouds. I was like, oh, this is perfect. It'll be a really tight fit on the edges, but it was so perfect. So I needed to do it on this. And so this is 1 over 1 full cross on 28 count, Jobelin. So I'll keep chipping away at that one. So cute. This one's fairly small, but there is a lot left to it. So hopefully I can make some good progress on this one. Okay, that will be Saturday and Sunday. What else? Is that all? I think the only other thing left is the Great British Baking Show stitching. So this past week I worked 50 stitches on Halloween Fairy. Whoa, sorry kitty. This is by Nora Corbett. I worked on this on Tuesday and got that knocked out. I think, while I was watching some Olympics, I figured this was easy to pull out and work on. Again, still in this light color of her dress. This one, after 50 stitches, is now at 44.10%. And it's 32 count Mushroom Slushy by Fabric Flare. It's printed even weave, 2 over 2 full cross. So this one, I think, no, this one's not coming out this week for the game. So it'll take a week off. It's not done. So it'll come back out in a little bit. I think this is now week 8. So there's 2 more episodes after this. So it'll be in at least one of those. And then I worked on Spring Floral Cross, a kit by Janlin, which is an old kit. It's now, they have digital versions at Cooler Design Studio. And so I'm working on the digital version, which is nice, but still using all the kit stuff. This one I gave 176 stitches. It needed 175. I worked on it while I was chatting with my mom and managed to get everything done. It's now at 23.17%. And so I worked in here. I filled in some cream, some green, and started in on some white as well. I don't think I came over here at all. So I didn't do any back stitching this time just because I was chatting with my mom. I wanted to just keep following Pattern Keeper, make it easy. There's a lot of white around this flower, so I figured, well, I'll just keep going with that. I have some yellow on my needle too to fill in some accents in that flower. So this one does come out this week, I believe. It'll get 75 stitches this week, so still not out either. And then the last one I worked on this week is the one that was eliminated this past week. This is Winter Rose. So I did 150 stitches on this one. And this one took me a little while because I was trying to finish the blend in her dress. And I got that done along with, like, I don't know, less than 10 stitches, I think, of another color to get to my 150. So this is now out of the Great British Baking Show game, but it will be in my temperature stitching game because this is the thing in Pattern Keeper closest to a finish. This is Winter Rose. It's Vintage Stormy Night, no, Vintage Misty Rain on 46 count. So 1/1 is most of this, but there was a blend in her dress and a blend in the bow that would make, I went ahead and did it as a blend. So it was 2/2, super full and crowded, and I'm so glad it's done. And I started a little bit of the bush that's on this side of her dress. There's more bush over here too, but there's some bush here. I need to bring the border down, do more frill along the edge of her dress and her boot, her ice skate. So there is still a good amount left, but it's coming along. This is now at 64.91%. So fun. I'm so happy that that 2/2 blend is done. So now everything on here will be 1/1 and it will be so much smoother to work on. So that will come back out in March sometime for temperature stitching down the road. The things I will work on for Great British Baking Show this week were Spring Floral Cross for 75 stitches. Then I'll bring out Simpsons again. This is an old pattern I got off of eBay. It's no longer available. I've recharted it so I can use Pattern Keeper, and I need 125 stitches on this one. This person, yeah, they were Star Baker and got a handshake, so that's their amounts. I need 125 half stitches. This is 40 count Verdal, 1/1 half cross, and I'm currently have Homer's pant color on my needle, so that's where that will be most likely. This one should also make it into temperature stitching in March. Keep chipping away at that one. And then Isabella's Garden was the one that was eliminated this week, which is unfortunate, but it was also last in technical, so I get to do 200 stitches. So I'll work on her hair and ribbons and flowers and stuff some more and see how far that gets me. So this will get 200 stitches this week, and then it will be done for the game. So that's the starting point. This is 32 count, I think olive green linen, 2/2 full cross. So that's a fun one. I'll look forward to adding a few more stitches to that. So I think that's everything I worked on this week and all my plans. It'll be fun to find out what WIPGO gets called. I think Wednesday maybe is the day for that, when Jessie will call the new numbers. And yeah, just kind of a simple week this week. So I'll have just 2 daily 30 pieces, one for the rest of February, and then I'll start my March choice for all of March with Stargazer. So it'll keep things simple. So the next few videos into March will be a little more, probably a little shorter, because I'll have fewer things to be showing you, but it's fun. I do go through phases off and on of when I want to rotate a lot and when I want to, you know, settle in a little more. And I think because I have been rotating a lot, settling in will be nice. So I'm all on board for Monogamous Stargazer in March. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, I can always reevaluate in the middle of the month if I want to switch over to a wheel for the last few days. But for now, I'll stick with Monogamous and see how that goes. So with that, I think that's everything I can talk about right now. I hope you have a wonderful week. Smokey says hi. And happy stitching. Bye.